Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and I'm sitting here reading Captain Marvel issue number 0. That's right, issue 0. So we're going to get a little bit of an origin story here for Captain Marvel. This is Carol Danvers, mind you. Captain Marvel is having a little therapy session with what appears to be a holographic counselor. She's actually 250 miles above the Earth in Alpha Flight Space Station. Now, Abigail Brand is up here with her. There's also a secretary. Also, Puck and Sasquatch, both former members of Alpha Flight proper, way back in the day of X-Men fame, they're here also. So I think these are the only 4 or 5 people, who are on this ship, this space station with Carol Danvers, besides her cat. A ship comes in that has refugees of aliens, and they eventually get put down in kind of like a detainment camp on Earth. There's a infiltrator who comes in. He's looking for a specific one of these aliens. As for Carol herself, she's been having nightmares lately. Like, most of the people on Earth are really happy with her. There are a bunch who are, of course, against her. She's kind of totalitarian, but the point is that enough people do like her, do love her, huge fan clubs that she didn't even know about. And she's basically got the weight of the world on her shoulders. And that's self-imposed, yes, but she is considered to be the mightiest superhero on Earth at the current moment. Yeah, that means even mightier than Thor in that regard. So she puts the onus of blame on herself for when something goes wrong, and she's basically just carrying around, like I said, a lot of weight. Her lack of sleep is, of course, going to wind up doing something, because although she keeps on saying, and everyone around her knows, that she could basically swallow the sun because she's that powerful, the fact is that she is still half human, and she keeps getting reminded of that often. Now, the recurring theme of this comic is that she keeps on having these recurring nightmares. While she's friends again with Jessica Drew, the original Spider-Woman, the fact is that these nightmares that she's having, where her, Jessica, Miss Marvel, Black Widow, Thor, they're just playing poker with each other, but at one point, the pizza delivery man shows up, and it's actually Iron Man, and he breaks down the door and attacks Carol. Now, again, a lot of these things are interlaced. They're actually all connected. And this is harkening back to the Civil War II storyline where she had to kill Tony Stark, Iron Man. It was kind of death by Carol. He didn't have to push her that far. And we gotta harken back also to some of these other comics. She was pushed too far. We pushed Carol too far. That was the prophecy that we discovered later on, and it was actually Old Man Logan from the future who gave that prophecy that they pushed Carol too far. And this is just one of those things. She's having these PTSD-like recurring nightmares, and at one point she'll call out, Tony, stop this, and the Iron Man figure will say, you think this is Tony? And the visor will be pulled back, and by the end of the comic we finally see the end somewhat of the nightmare, where it's actually her inside the mask attacking her, that she's her own biggest enemy, and she's got to kind of interpret this dream and understand exactly what it means for her. She's also got to cope with the fact that she is still half human. She does still have feelings. This is building to be an incredible story, and again, it's not even issue 1, it's issue 0. We get a little origin story, and I'm not going to go into that origin story here, but you really should pick up this issue just because, hey, we get a backstory on Captain Marvel, not necessarily about how she got her powers. That was a minimalized issue here, but rather her history. Her talks about her father and her brother and how she was able to get into college, how she decided to join the Air Force, and when she finally went into space. Really, really good stuff. In depth. I absolutely adore how they were able to pull this off. Guys, this is a great comic. This is getting an A right off the shelf. I highly recommend going out and picking this issue up. It's a keeper. Guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, class dismissed.